Okay, so hey guys, second trip of the season. First one, the FZ6 broke down, so I got a new whip, MT-09 Tracer 2017 model. First trip I'm doing on this one. Amazing deal. Well, I was really lucky because I saw this one being advertised and it had the same pannier racks and the same top box mount and the same tank bag mount, which the tank bag's kind of common anyway, but it's just crazy that it pretty much was ready for me to jump on it and right away. The only thing that I've done is I've installed a dash cam setup at the front and back, and I've also put on a mount for my TomTom and this little throttle rest. So we'll see how it goes. Hold on with me. Once it's moving, it's so seamless. It's like everything is effortless. Even with all this camping gear loaded onto it, it doesn't really feel any different. Acceleration in A mode is a bit of a beast. It's got 3 modes. It's got standard, A mode and B mode. At the moment I'm riding around in B mode until I get used to it, because I've been riding, this is my first kind of time on a 900. The FZ6 is obviously 600cc. And in A mode, it bucks like a Bronco. It feels pretty mean when it's in A mode. Beautiful UK weather. So heading up to Wales for a camping trip. And the weather's kind of been pretty good since the last one. So the last one, the weather was pretty crap. What is this guy doing? It was pretty crap up until, so we were meant to head up on a Friday, and the weather was that bad that I had to turn around and come back. Tom didn't even try to get up there because it was so bad. So then we headed up Saturday morning early, and it was raining, pretty much rained until we got to the campsite, set up the tents, went and had breakfast, and then I broke down like 2 miles later, like 5 minutes later or whatever. And since then the weather's been amazing, since I broke down. As soon as I broke down, the sun came out, until we decided we wanted to go camping this weekend. Right on cue. Rain. It's just typical. So it's only done 3,000 something miles. 3,250 miles. So it's a little baby compared to my other one. My FZ6 has now done 62,000 miles. And it's getting towards the stage where I don't trust it for long trips. I'm going to hold on to it, I think. I haven't decided entirely what I'm doing with it. At the moment, it's on the trickle charge and it's been deregistered. But basically what happened to it was, before the Europe trip, I had an issue with the front sprocket nut. Where it threaded itself and it came off like 2 days before the trip. Managed to kind of get it on backwards, and it held until the end of the trip when I replaced the nut entirely with a new one. Then that happened again when I had the chain and sprocket set replaced. Yamaha said they couldn't put the new one on because the nut was threaded. So they had to order a new nut. And then on the last Wales trip it happened again, although this time it looked like it threaded... What's going on here? This time it looked like it threaded the shaft as well. I think what happened was because the nut came off this time, and I think I know for sure the sprocket came off while the bike was moving because I was trying to ride it, and I just lost all power. I think what happened was the splines on the inside of the sprocket stripped the end of the shaft, so then the nut wouldn't go back on at all. So I managed to get it in somewhere in Wales, and they basically quoted me about $1,000 because they need to replace the shaft and they need to split the engine and take like the gearbox off and all that kind of jazz to get to the shaft to replace it. The shaft itself is only like 200 pounds or something. Nice indicator wanker. But it was the labour. It'd take like a day and a half for it to do it or something like that. And that was from a garage. That was from advice from a garage who I wasn't actually taking it to because they said they wouldn't be able to do it. So I thought that would be pretty trustworthy. The garage I actually took it to said about the same thing. I wouldn't get much change from $1,000. So what I did was I bought a new chain and sprocket set for the FZ6, and I got to weld the nut to the end of the shaft carefully so it didn't like ruin the seal. And that's going to buy me like another 15,000 miles or whatever the lifetime of the chain and sprocket set is. And then at that point I can make the decision if I want to get rid of it or if I want to pay $1,000 to get the shaft replaced then. It just basically bought me more time. I'm in the same situation, it's just I've got an extra 15,000 miles to figure out what to do. So yeah, that's the story of the FZ6. Love that bike, so I don't really want to get rid of it. Took me through Europe, took me on a lot of trips. Ireland, around Wales multiple times. But 62,000 miles, I just don't trust that it's not going to break down again. And I'm planning to do Scotland this year, which I think is going to be more mileage than Europe, and I didn't want to get caught up near John O'Groats somewhere on the NC500 with a broken down bike. It was bad enough in Wales, and that's only 4 hours away. So that's why I've got the Tracer. Love the Tracer so far. I've only had it for 3 weeks, which is why I'm still getting used to the acceleration and stuff. The throttle, the clutch biting point. I need to change the clutch lever as well actually, it's a bit too far out. It's just got the stock standard one on, so I'll get like some adjustable ones or something. The brake is okay, front brake. It's just so nice to ride, and it's my first time on a faired bike as well, or semi-faired at least. I am just going to pull over for a sec. I love the sound of it as well. It's just got the standard exhaust on it. It just sounds like, what it feels like is, it feels like a motocross bike. It just feels like when I'm riding around the A roads and stuff like that, it feels like it wants me to just ride straight over the edge of the road and into the field. It inspires so much confidence. maybe it's because it's got a low center of gravity or something, I don't know, I haven't really looked into it. But the upper pieces, like the bearings and stuff, they're just all plastic, so there's no weight. I've loaded up a bit of weight on it now at the top, but it hasn't really offset the engine weight at all. It's beautiful. Can't wait for brekkie. Super sausage. I've had a lot of full Englishes around the places, and I think the super sausage still has the best full English. The little cafe just down the road from where we go camping in Wales, called Cafe Gwynedd, that has an epic Welsh breakfast, which is comparable. Same thing. Full Welsh. So it's got black pudding, tomato, beans, bacon, egg, sausage, hash brown, mushrooms, I think. Yeah, it's got big mushrooms, I think. But it is epic. They're both epic. So this one is near where I live, and that one's near where I get my camp on. He is here. I think. A few people here actually. Ross is not here yet.